Many parts of Furman were affected by the men's basketball team's performance in March Madness. More information on that coming up.
Interested in what's going on the bottom floor of the library? A sneak peek later in the show.
For the first time ever, a student organization is appealing a CLP. Why they say the speaker would be harmful to our campus community.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Nightly News. We've had an amazing week with our first appearance in the NCAA tournament since 1980, and that's where we begin our coverage tonight. Last Saturday was Furman's big game in the second round of March Madness. Our Alyssa Hildenbrandt went to the Furman-hosted watch party at Paladin Stadium.
Here I am at Paladin Stadium, where Furman University fans have gathered around to watch Furman play in the second round of March Madness against San Diego State.
Not only was the game played on a large screen, but there were also bounce houses, a food truck, and food options around the stadium.
I'm so glad that Furman hosted a place to watch the big game, and being surrounded by Furman fans just made the experience so much better.
Around 100 people showed up to Paladin Stadium to cheer on the team.
It was really cool to be able to experience such a big moment for Furman outside with everyone cheering on the Paladins together.
Furman made sure that this experience was more than just watching a game.
Thanks, Alyssa. Despite Furman's loss, we still got to see how dedicated the Furman fans were. But the Din spirit did not stop there. Ella Grogan takes us to another hot spot in our community where we celebrated the Furman men's basketball team.
Furman fans packed up and went to Yeehaw in downtown Greenville. They could not contain their excitement as our basketball team enters the round of 32 in March Madness.
It has been 40 years since we have made it to the bracket, so Furman fans gathered in masses as history was being made. The energy started to wither as the Paladins came into the second, down by 14, after a very difficult end to the first half, but the Paladin fans remain positive.
This is a moment in history. We're not doing too well right now, but I have confidence. This is so exciting. Roll Dens, I love it. Woo!
San Diego kept expanding the gap, and the Paladins ended up losing 75-52, but that did not affect the fans' team spirit.
Well, I'm disappointed with the results. It has been so much fun seeing everybody get out here, get together, and have such amazing school spirit.
Disappointing results for this game, but the Paladin fans were cheering until the very, very end. We are already looking forward to next year, but for Nightly News, I'm Ella Grogan. Back to you.
Thanks, Ella. Our stunning win in the first round against Virginia gave Furman a lot of national attention. I took a look at what a huge impact that upset had. Furman University's last-second buzzer beater sent the nation into a frenzy. The arena erupted with cheers from Furman fans as the national coverage jumped to the surprising upset. The nation would be informed as every sports newscast cut to the final seconds of Furman's stunning victory. Since the stunning victory over Virginia, the overall Furman.edu website traffic increased 415%, while the homepage traffic grew up to 700%. Across the globe, clicks to Furman.edu from Google searches increased 198%. Social media views grew by 600% across all channels. There was no shortage of non-stop Furman coverage. And perhaps one of the most significant shout-outs was what we got from the one and only Jimmy Fallon.
Furman University beat 4-seed Virginia. It was a really exciting game, and I noticed that the Furman's cheerleaders had a pretty interesting chant. Watch this. F you. Yeah. It's Furman University. Yeah. I want to say it's innocent, but they only chant that when the other team scores. Really? That's very interesting.
To see Furman University on such a large scale feels somewhat beautiful. For such a small school and a tight-knit community to receive such nationwide support has truly brought the school together more than anyone has yet realized. As you can imagine, social media went crazy after our win, and Michael Davis took a look at all those posts and what they meant for Furman.
You don't have to be a sports fan to see the benefit of exposure that our athletic programs provide. And here's a look at the numbers through social media.
As you can see, Furman Hoops averaged around 350 likes before they made the big dance. Now they sit around 1,000 likes. Now we can look over to Furman University's Instagram and see that they sat from 500 to 800 likes before March Madness. Then their engagement exploded to a range of 800 to 1,700 likes. Furman University's main Instagram page rose from 16,000 followers to 21.4 thousand followers since the Paladins run into March. Of course, Furman competes at the D1 level to grant student athletes the highest level of competition, but publicity also serves a huge benefit. Star players Mike Bothwell and Jalen Slauson became verified users on Instagram. The Furman basketball Twitter even got a boost, becoming verified with 12,000 followers. Once Furman pulled the upset over Virginia, Furman Hoops Instagram gained an estimated 2,000 followers as it continues to rise. Furman was also trending #1 on Twitter after defeating the Cavaliers. Social media views grew by 600% across all channels, with TikTok views topping 200,000.
This so-called 15 minutes of fame may last a lifetime for the university. From surfing the internet, I'm Michael Davis. Colin, back to you.
Thanks, Michael. This uptick in exposure at the national level may bring more interest for prospective students to call Furman home. Now to what's happening around campus. The Young Democratic Socialists have sent an official appeal to the CLP committee about the upcoming event entitled, "Why Don't We Know Who We Are?" The speaker is Mary Eberstadt, an American essayist. In their appeal, the group says, Mary Eberstadt, the speaker of an upcoming CLP, Why Don't We Know Who We Are, is viciously transphobic. Beyond that, she has expressed harmful rhetoric, blaming feminism and women's lack of common sense for women being raped. This time, Eberstadt's homophobic, transphobic, and victim-blaming ideas are all central to her CLP lecture on identity confusion and the sexual revolution. I am writing because I believe that to grant someone so viciously transphobic our university's academic seal of legitimacy would be harmful to the Furman community. You may remember the group protested the Scott Yenner CLP earlier this year, but this is the first time a student organization has sent an official appeal to the CLP committee. Over 30 people signed the petition to remove the CLP status. The committee is sent to review the appeal in their meeting on Monday before the event. Many of you had an opportunity to voice your opinions on topics close to your heart last Friday when the Comp Studies Department hosted their annual World Speech Day event. Our Alyssa Hildenbrandt braved the rain and the cold with the speakers. She has the story.
Yes, Colin, I am here at World Speech Day capturing the captivating words of these students and discovering why this day is so important.
More than 100 countries participate in the World Speech Day event that gives people a platform to discuss topics that truly matter.
The endless possibilities of the future will never stop glimmering through the present, no matter how dark the present may be.
This is the 5th year that Furman has hosted its own event, which is sponsored by the Communication Studies Department and the Social Justice Forum.
There's a power in how we talk and the way that we say things.
I think it's really important so that we can be able to not only practice our abilities to talk in front of a large crowd, but to be able to express to our friends about different aspects of what we're learning and why we think they're important.
Students speak on topics ranging from inner beauty to violence against women to what it will take to save our democracy.
We all have a lifespan, and at the end of the day, it's not about the length of those years that matter, it's what we do with them.
10 students and lots of their friends came out to participate despite the cold and rain.
I think World Speech Day is so important because it's really important for people to use their voices. We all have a story to tell, and everyone wants someone to listen to. And when you're given a platform to discuss your own experiences, feelings, thoughts, opinions, etc. on a stage like this, it allows you to feel not only get more confident in yourself, but share your experience and maybe allow people who aren't at that stage yet to feel more welcome.
As you can see, these students came out to talk about a multitude of important topics. I think that we should all start to use our voices to make a difference. Reporting for Nightly News, I'm Alyssa Hildenbrandt. Back to you, Colin.
Alyssa, a big congratulations to the World Speech Day winners. Our own Alyssa Hildenbrandt tied with Logan Coffey for first place and a prize of $75. And Will Sander placed second and received a $50 prize. While those students were on Joseph Vaughn Plaza on Friday, our mock trial team took to the courtroom on Saturday in the last mock trial competition before nationals.
The mock trial is a competitive academic more sport here, similar to debate team would be. The Furman University program is very well founded within the AMTA community. AMTA is the American Mock Trial Association, and it's the group that actually governs the collegiate mock trial program as a whole. There are over 300 schools represented with over 600 different teams that will compete over the course of a year.
The last weekend, the Furman mock trial team just fell short of their opportunity to go to nationals in Memphis, Tennessee. They tied in one round. If they had won that round, they would have been going to Memphis. We have around 25 students on our mock trial team who won their previous two competitions this year. Local lawyers who were once on our mock trial team serve as coaches. If you haven't noticed already, there is a new exhibit on the bottom floor of the library. Earlier this week, Elijah Poritzky went out to explore.
Yes, Colin, when you go inside and go down these stairs, you'll see a brand new exhibit about Americans in the Holocaust. I talked to the Associate Director of Digital and Resource Management, Christy Allen, and she gave me more information. Let's go check it out.
So the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum and the American Library Association have joined forces to do a traveling exhibit called Americans in the Holocaust, and they picked 50 sites throughout the United States to tour the exhibit. And it was very competitive. Libraries had to put in an application to request it, so that's what we did. We actually put in our application back in 2019, but because of COVID, everything got derailed and pushed back. So I think that this exhibit is important for the upstate, for Greenville, and also for Furman, because it looks not just at the Holocaust as a general historical event, but how Americans reacted to it, how our policies, how our laws, and how our media and government reacted to the news of the Holocaust, and how in many ways it made it harder for people fleeing from the Nazis to come here to America. And so this exhibit really talks about like the motivations and the influences that drove the decisions of America as a government and even American individuals into how they helped, how they were able to help people fleeing from the Nazis.
I had the privilege of getting an early access walkthrough of the exhibit from Rick Jones, the Digital Collection Center manager.
This is kind of where our starting point kind of explains everything. We have a silent video that's always running, and you can move around. It's in two sections here. We have 4 interactive kiosks. Here you see 2. You can come on, touch the screen, interact. Like this is about the Holocaust in the news, and you can go around and choose a state, any state in the country. We start out here with Nazism in the news and the Olympics from the 30s, and it's kind of what Americans were reading during that time in the newspaper.
Wow, I just learned so much about such an important part of history. If you want to check it out, there's a grand opening on March 24th from 4 to 6 p.m. If you missed the grand opening, the exhibit is open all the way until April 25th, so go check it out. Reporting for the Nightly News, I'm Elijah Poritzky.
Thanks, Elijah. That looks like a really interesting exhibit. To see the full tour, go to our YouTube channel. There are a lot of opportunities for you to catch up on your CLPs this week. Check out what's coming up. On March 28th at 6:30 in Younts Conference Center, Furman will be hosting a CLP called IBM and the Holocaust, which will explore IBM's alliance with Nazi Germany during World War II. Then, on March 29th at 7 p.m. in Johns Hall 101, a CLP entitled Teaching the Holocaust, which will inform the struggles and opportunities of teaching about the Holocaust by focusing on survivor stories. Continuing the theme, the U.S. The CLP, the U.S. and the Holocaust, will occur on March 31st at 5 p.m. in Patrick Lecture Hall. This CLP is a 45-minute screening version of the documentary The U.S. and the Holocaust, which examines the rise of Hitler, Nazism, and anti-Semitism. You may have seen some extra color around campus lately. That's because on Wednesday night, Kappa Delta hosted a run for Caroline Smith. It's a color run to raise money for the Julie Valentine Center and prevent child abuse across America, while also remembering and honoring their sister, Caroline Smith. Caroline was a KD and also a communications studies major here at Furman. She would have graduated in 2021, but unfortunately passed away her sophomore year. Not only was this past week a busy one for our basketball team, but members of Zeta Tau Alpha also had a busy week in preparation for Big Man on Campus, or BMOC. Lindsay Capps has the story.
Thanks. Big Man on Campus is an event that Zeta Tau Alpha puts on every year in order to raise money for our philanthropy. Mark Calvin, representing Pi Kappa Phi, won the competition with a Steve Irwin-style impersonation, complete with different stuffed animals. Though the event is a lot of fun, all the proceeds go to a great cause, breast cancer awareness and education. Emmy Barth is the Director of Philanthropy of Zeta Tau Alpha.
Big Man on Campus, commonly known as BMOC, is an all-male pageant show. Basically, we have representatives from organizations across campus prepare for weeks on a dance and talents and how to answer questions about our philanthropy for this big show. And our philanthropy is breast cancer education and awareness. This is a cause that's really important to so many people because it affects 1 in 8 women. And so that's why our contestants get so enthusiastic and put their all into this event, and it becomes a really special show.
Emma Dixon has a special connection to this philanthropy.
My mom was diagnosed with breast cancer my sophomore year of high school. After that, she went through her surgeries and she went through radiation, and she will be declared cancer-free my senior year of college. I'm not only raising money for all women affected by breast cancer, but I'm also raising money for my mom.
In all, Zeta Tau Alpha raised $17,378 in support of breast cancer education and awareness. This is a record compared to previous years. As a Zeta, I am proud to be a part of this organization and help out with breast cancer education and awareness and help all those women out there. This is Lindsay Capps reporting for Nightly News.
Thanks, Lindsay. BMOC is a great event that is held every year. Make sure you go next year if you missed it. As we shared with you last week, our Paladin Regiment marched in Dublin for their St. Patrick's Day Parade. But did you know they won first place? That's right. The Furman Marching Band got the first place award among college groups in attendance. Congratulations to all members for representing Furman on the international stage. We're doing a lot of winning lately, and we couldn't be more proud of our Paladins. Let's go to Michael now for a live look at sports.
Thanks, Colin. We've been all about the NCAA tourney, but we do have some big things happening here at home, so let's get right to it. We begin with an update for you on the renovation of Timmons Arena. Here's a couple artist renderings showing the planned finished product for the new entrance. These photos were sent to alum to keep them updated on the project. This will certainly be an upgrade to our basketball teams. With all the excitement around our basketball programs, it's only a matter of time before Timmons has a new look to it. Upon the return from Orlando in the March Madness bracket, the men's basketball team was presented with a proclamation from Councilwoman Chief of Staff Liz Seaman. Huge congratulations to our basketball team. From stunning victories to heartbreaking defeat, it seems like we witnessed it all in last week's scores. March was great to the men's basketball team. Not only did they win the SoCon tournament, but the Paladins miraculously defeated Virginia in the first round of the NCAA tournament, 68-67. Furman's journey soon ended in the round of 32 against San Diego State by a score of 52-75. Regardless, this has been a historic season. Catching up on men's tennis, Furman defeated Converse College 5-2. The Dens got hot and defeated Richmond 5-1 and SoCon opponent UNCG 6-1. Good times for our men's tennis squad. Moving on to softball, our Paladins faced a tough matchup against 16-ranked Georgia, losing 1-7. They turn around to another SEC opponent in USC, that score 0-10. Our women's lacrosse team has started off their season and came up with a win last week against Kennesaw State 8-7. While some seasons are ending, others are just getting started. So make sure you go out and support our athletic programs. Just when you think it can't get more exciting, we have some great games coming up. First, we have our tennis teams. The men's team has been on a roll and hope to continue that momentum going into their match on Monday at 3 p.m. The women are getting back into the swing of things as they take on their rival Wofford at 3:30. Next, we turn to the ladies lacrosse team as they have two big upcoming games. First, they head to Liberty on Saturday at 12 p.m. Next, they are back at home to take on Longwood at 6 p.m. And we can't forget our softball team as they have a huge week ahead. First this weekend, they have a tournament against Western Carolina. Then they have a doubleheader against USC Upstate on Wednesday. Be sure to come out and support our Paladins in this exciting week of sports coming up. Here's a special shout out to Furman tight end Ryan Miller for clocking a 4.48 40-yard dash. This should grab the attention of NFL scouts in need of a quick hybrid player. Greenville Triumph has their first game in Paladin Stadium this weekend. So if you're looking for something to do, they take on the Richmond Kickers at 7:30 in Paladin Stadium. That will be a great event. That's all for sports this week. Colin, back to you.
Thanks, Michael. That does it for this week's edition of the Nightly News. I am your host, Colin Glascott. We'll leave you now with more scenes from this week's events.